File 2.
Chapter 13. Favour and disgrace goad, as it were, to madness. High rank hurts keenly as our bodies hurt. What does it mean to say that favour and disgrace goad, as it were, to madness? It means that when a ruler's subjects get it, they turn distraught. When they lose it, they turn distraught. That is what is meant by saying favour and disgrace goad, as it were, to madness. What does it mean to say that high rank hurts keenly as our bodies hurt? The only reason that we suffer hurt is that we have bodies. If we had no bodies, how could we suffer? Therefore, we may accept the saying, he who in dealing with the empire regards his high rank as though it were his body is the best person to be entrusted with rule. He who in dealing with the empire loves his subjects as one should love one's body is the best person to whom one can commit the empire. Chapter 14. Because the eye gazes, but can catch no glimpse of it, it is called elusive. Because the ear listens, but cannot hear it, it is called the rarefied. Because the hand feels for it, but cannot find it, it is called the infinitesimal. These three, because they cannot be further scrutinized, blend into one. Its rising brings no light, its sinking no darkness. Endless, the series of things without name on the way back to where there is nothing. They are called shapeless shapes. Forms without form are called vague semblances. Go towards them, and you can see no front. Go after them, and you see no rear. Yet by seizing on the way that was, you can ride the things that are now. For to know what once there was, in the beginning, this is called the essence of the way. Chapter 15. Of old, those that were the best officers of court had inner natures, subtle, abstruse, mysterious, penetrating, too deep to be understood. And because such men could not be understood, I can but tell of them as they appeared to the world. Circumspect they seemed, like one who in winter crosses a stream. Watchful, as one who must meet danger on every side. Ceremonious, as one who pays a visit. Yet yielding, as ice when it begins to melt. Blank as a piece of uncarved wood, yet receptive as a hollow in the hills, murky as a troubled stream. Which of you can assume such murkiness, to become in the end still and clear? Which of you can make yourself inert, to become in the end full of life and stir? Those who possess this Tao do not try to fill themselves to the brim, and because they do not try to fill themselves to the brim, they are like a garment that endures all wear and need never be renewed. Chapter 16. Push far enough towards the void, hold fast enough to quietness, and of the 10,000 things none but can be worked on by you. I have beheld them, whither they go back. See, all things, howsoever they flourish, return to the root from which they grew. This return to the root is called quietness. Quietness is called submission to fate. What has submitted to fate has become part of the always so. To know the always so is to be illumined. Not to know it means to go blindly to disaster. He who knows the always so has room in him for everything. He who has room in him for everything is without prejudice. To be without prejudice is to be kingly. To be kingly is to be of heaven. To be of heaven is to be in Tao. Tao is forever, and he that possesses it, though his body ceases, is not destroyed. Chapter 17. Of the highest, the people merely know that such a one exists. The next they draw near to and praise. The next they shrink from, intimidated, but revile. Truly, it is by not believing people that he turned them into liars. But from the sage it is so hard at any price to get a single word, that when his task is accomplished, his work done, throughout the country everyone says, "It happened of its own accord." Chapter 18. It was when the great way declined that human kindness and morality arose. It was when intelligence and knowledge appeared that the great artifice began. It was when the 6 near ones were no longer at peace that there was talk of dutiful sons. Nor till fatherland was dark with strife did we hear of loyal slaves. Chapter 19. Banish wisdom, discard knowledge, and the people will be benefited 100-fold. Banish human kindness, discard morality, and the people will be dutiful and compassionate. Banish skill, discard profit, and thieves and robbers will disappear. If, when these 3 things are done, they find life too plain and unadorned, then let them have accessories. Give them simplicity to look at, the uncarved block to hold. Give them selflessness and fewness of desires. Chapter 20. Banish learning, and there will be no more grieving. Between way and o, what, after all, is the difference? Can it be compared to the difference between good and bad? The saying, "What others avoid, I too must avoid," how false and superficial it is. All men, indeed, are wreathed in smiles, as though feasting after the great sacrifice, as though going up to the spring carnival. I alone am inert, like a child that has not yet given sign, like an infant that has not yet smiled. I droop and drift, as though I belonged nowhere. All men have enough and to spare. I alone seem to have lost everything. Mine is indeed the mind of a very idiot, so dull am I. The world is full of people that shine. I alone am dark. They look lively and self-assured. I alone depressed. I seem unsettled as the ocean, blown adrift, never brought to a stop. All men can be put to some use. I alone am intractable and boorish. But wherein I most am different from men is that I prize no sustenance that comes not from the mother's breast. Chapter 21. Such the scope of the all-pervading power, that it alone can act through the way. For the way is a thing impalpable, incommensurable. Incommensurable, impalpable. Yet latent in it are forms. Impalpable, incommensurable. Yet within it are entities. Shadowy it is, and dim. Yet within it there is a force that, though rarefied, is none the less efficacious. From the time of old till now its charge has not departed, but cheers onward the many warriors. How do I know that the many warriors are so? Through this. Chapter 22. To remain whole, be twisted. To become straight, let yourself be bent. To become full, be hollow. Be tattered that you may be renewed. Those that have little may get more. Those that have much are but perplexed. Therefore the sage clasps the primal unity, testing by it everything under heaven. He does not show himself, therefore he is seen everywhere. He does not define himself, therefore he is distinct. He does not boast of what he will do, therefore he succeeds. He is not proud of his work, and therefore it endures. He does not contend, and for that very reason no one under heaven can contend with him. So then we see that the ancient saying, "To remain whole, be twisted," was no idle word, for true wholeness can only be achieved by return. Chapter 23. To be always talking is against nature. For the same reason, a hurricane never lasts a whole morning, nor a rainstorm all day. Who is it that makes the wind and rain? It is heaven and earth. And if even heaven and earth cannot blow or pour for long, how much less in his utterance should man? Truly, if one uses the way as one's instrument, the results will be like the way. If one uses the power as one's instrument, the results will be like the power. If one uses what is the reverse of the power, the results will be the reverse of the power. For to those who have conformed themselves to the way readily lends its power. To those who have conformed themselves to the power readily lends more power. While to those who conform themselves to inefficacy readily lends its ineffectiveness. It is by not believing in people that you turn them into liars.